Hi, happy Monday. It's January 28th, and I'm back to talk a little bit more about intuition and a topic that I've been hearing a lot about lately, a topic I've had experience with, and that is, trusting our intuition, which I would also call our own creativity. Hey, Matt. And then having that be new behavior. Hi, Dan. And Dunia, thanks for joining. But trusting our intuition, our creativity, and then dealing with the challenges of that being threatening to the people around us, and in particular when we are around crazy makers in our life. So I talk about this book a lot, The Artist's Way. I did a quote from Julia Cameron, the author here. And she talks about trusting our creativity, and I'm saying our intuition, is new behavior for many of us. It may feel quite threatening initially, not only to us, but also to our intimates. And hey, Julie, and that is true. When we start getting truthful with ourselves and honest with what we really want, you will find there are going to be some people around you who will resist that. And in particular, I might talk about crazy makers. And in her book, she actually talks specifically about crazy makers. I grew up with some crazy makers in my life. And so when I started really practicing my intuition, I got a lot of pushback. And so I'm going to go through kind of a list of what she talks about with crazy makers and then some suggestions, and I'll tell you a story where it really clicked for me and what happened, and that will be our kind of focus for the week. I do still encourage writing. I really got clear about who were my crazy makers in my life and why and what was happening, and then I had to work on how to deal with that so I could stay in that flow and not get resentful. Because a lot of times with crazy makers in our life, we get resentful because we really just don't know how to deal with them, or we don't know how to say no. There's a lot of saying no to crazy makers. So here are some of the things that might help you identify if you are surrounding yourself or have a couple crazy makers in your life that keep getting blocked, but you don't know why. And we do have a part to play. My grandmother always said it takes two to tango. So if you stop doing the dance, then it clears up for you. So here are some of the things to watch out for. The crazy makers in our lives, they break deals, they kind of destroy schedules. When you have something going on, all of a sudden you'll get a frantic phone call, they need you instead, and you have to stop what you're doing to go to them, or you may think you do. Crazy makers, they do expect special treatment from you. This is much more difficult if it's a close family member like a mom or a dad, because there's that whole picture that goes with that. Crazy makers can discount your reality. Why do you want to do that? Who's going to do that? When I started playing music, my family would say, well, who's going to listen to your songs? Why do they want to listen to you? I mean, that's really was hard for me to walk through. Crazy makers, they'll spend your time and money. They like to triangulate with people that you deal with. They are expert blamers. I'm kind of going through this list out of the Artist's Way book. They create dramas, but not really where they belong. They'll create a drama to get attention. They hate schedules. They don't like order. They love being the center of attention, and they deny being crazy makers. Just reading it can make me feel crazy. So, like I said, if you have people in your life that are doing this around you, there's help for it. There is codependency books. There's meetings for this. There's therapy for this. Some people it's worse than others. I needed to seek therapy for it a little bit. I have a mom who is a crazy maker, and it's hard to say because we're taught not to speak badly about our mothers, but she is my ultimate crazy maker. And every time I would be on the brink of having some success, she would swoop into my life and there would be some kind of a drama, or she'd have to be a part of it. And it was just really agonizing for me. And so I remember my story with this and being very clear is we have a business coach, Tom Ferry. Thank you, Tom Ferry. He I was working on this a lot, but it broke it open. And I was sitting in one of his conferences and he called them the crabs. We're calling them the crazy makers. And he said, if you are struggling with success, you need to look at who is around you and who are you surrounding yourself with. And if you are spending time with people who he was calling the crabs, you have to stop spending time with them. You cannot let them be in your inner circle. And he described the crabs as people that what crabs will do, if the crabs are all put into a bucket, there may be one crab that wants to escape. And as that crab is starting to escape and find success and actually find life, right? They're trying to escape being cooked. The other crabs will literally like pull their legs off. They will pull them back down into the bucket. And so I had this epiphany that, oh my God, every time I'm about to have any success, my mother just pulls me down. And it was agonizing to say that and to admit that, because she's my mom. She's not supposed to do that, but she was doing that. And I left that conference knowing that I had to deal with the fact that this person in my inner circle, who's like, and I'm an adult now, so do I get to have her in her, do I get to choose to have her in my inner circle? Yes, I do. I had to make some really strong boundaries so that I didn't keep getting pulled down. And let me tell you, as soon as I faced that, my life took off. I had switched careers, and I went from being a school teacher to selling real estate in a very high-end, busy office. And I was trying to get started, and every time I'd put out something, I'd just get so much criticism and negativity that I wasn't going to be able to go forward. And I had to limit contact. I had to create a circle around me of safety so that I could go forward and surround myself with people who were doing what I was doing, following their intuition, growing, being honest, taking care of themselves. So my suggestion, you may not have a mom that does it, God, I hope you don't. I hope you don't have many people in your life that are crazy makers. But if you do, I do suggest writing about it. If you're not sure how to handle it, seek some help, because your success does depend on who we hang out with. And like my grandma said, it takes two to tango. So if you stop doing the dance with someone who's a crazy maker, then your life can get better, your intuition flows, success comes. So that's the practice for the week. I hope you write about it. Please message me if you want to, and I'll be back Friday. Have a good week. Have a good Monday.